Hey, good. Welcome to CenterPoint Energy's briefing about our response to Winter Storm Enzo. My name is Keith Stevens. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for CenterPoint. I'm going to offer a few opening comments, and Darren Carroll, our Head of Electric Operations, is also going to share some information. Spelling is Keith, Stevens, Stephephens. And so as we get started here, I just want to offer a quick safety message to anybody out there, public or our customers. Make sure you check on those elderly friends and family and neighbors, as well as people in your neighborhood. It's going to be cold, and we want to make sure everybody's being taken care of. So make sure you reach out to people who might not be aware of what's happening. So please take the time to do that. I want to focus on what we've been doing for over the last week. We've been tracking this weather for quite some time. Our in-house meteorology team, along with our additional outsourced partners on the meteorology front, we've been tracking this. We've been preparing, so this goes all the way back to last Monday. We started looking at this. On Wednesday, we activated what we call our winter readiness plan. That's both for electric and gas, so we started doing a number of checks on our equipment, thinking that this might actually be what's happening. So we were executing that. On Friday, we made the decision to go ahead and ask for mutual assistance, which means bringing in additional resources from other states to make sure that we would have enough people to be able to respond to the situation. And then over the weekend, which is obviously a 3-day weekend for the MLK Jr. Weekend, the day off today, we had our entire meteorology, our emergency planning and response team, as well as our operations folks that were working throughout the weekend to track what's happening today. So as you can see, quite a number of things are going on. So that really brings us to today. And with that, I want to turn it over to Darren. So Darren.
All right, thank you, Keith. Can you guys hear me okay, just as we get started? All right, Darren Carroll. I lead our electric business. It's DARIN, CARROLL. And first and foremost, just, what's that, a little bit louder? All right. Later this afternoon, we're going to be officially activating our Level 2 Emergency Operations Center to support the potential response to Winter Storm Enzo. As you can see, we've already activated staging sites. This is one of 3 that we've activated. I've been to another one this morning. I intend to head to the third one when I leave here. Very proud of the teams that have set these up. It's a logistical challenge to get all this done so quickly, and very, very proud of the work that the teams have done. We are absolutely ready for anything that may come with this event. We've got mutual aid workers here. We brought in 1,200 additional folks on top of our day-to-day work crews. That'll put us close to 3,000 boots on the ground for this event. We've had folks from as far as Virginia, North Carolina, Florida come to support. Right now from the meteorology teams, both internal and external, we're hearing 2 to 5 inches of snow, not a lot of ice. That would be the ideal in terms of keeping any impacts to the electric system at a minimum. The more ice that we have, the more concerning it becomes because of what it can do to trees and limbs and other things. So we are very, very prepared though and ready to go. Since mid last week, Keith talked about some of the preparation activities. I'll just hit on a couple more. We've been very communicative with our 2.8 million customers. Power alert services notices for those that are signed up and enrolled in that service. Emails. We've talked to reached out to our critical care customers. We have a service where folks can sign up as critical care. We've been communicating with them, give them tips ahead of time and making sure that they're taken care of. And just on that note, today we've deployed 4 small mobile generators to warming centers in and around the city. We've done that in coordination with the city and emergency management folks, just in case the need arises for those warming centers and there's an issue on the grid. So finally, just as I wrap up, a safety request, I want to echo what we've heard from emergency management, from the county judge. With this winter weather coming, please stay off the roads. It's going to be treacherous driving. If you do have to get out, please drive safely. Take care of yourself. We're going to have a lot of crews out working. They're going to be staged ahead of any outages even occurring. And so the more folks that are on the road, the more dangerous it becomes. So please just be safe. And with that, I'll turn it back to Keith. Thank you.
So just to wrap up here, and we'll take a few questions, just three quick reminders. Number one, Darren mentioned it, Power Alert service. That's a way for you to get either an email, a text, or an auto phone call giving you an update about what's going on with your power service. So that's outbound from us to you. You can sign up for that, so you have to come sign up. So we would strongly encourage people to do that, number one. Number two, our outage tracker, we know there's been some issues with that in the past. Significantly increased the capacity on that. It's now based in the cloud. We are ready. We've load tested it over the weekend, and it is ready to meet the needs of our customers. Final point, here in the last few weeks, we've introduced some new social channels to make sure people can get relevant information specifically where they are. We're based here in Texas. We have operations throughout other states. But if you want to know what's going on, please go on X to at @CenterPoint_TX. So with that, we're happy to take a few questions about what's going on. So Keith?
Yeah, don't have to tell you all a lot of pressure, a lot of notice for CenterPoint Energy when you go back to the summer, when you go back to even a few years ago with the first power outage. Are you all feeling that, and how are you going to stand up to those expectations of that pressure this time around?
Sure, absolutely. Let me just say a couple words about that. We heard the calls for change and for increased focus after Beryl. We've made a number of implementations for our Greater Houston Resiliency Initiative. So we've put a lot of measures in place. That's more poles, that's more tree trimming, that's more reclosure. So all that's been going on since last summer. We are scaled and ready to go for this storm. So I'll let Darren say some more about that.
Yeah, no, I just want to, reiterate what Keith said. We feel very prepared, very confident. The teams are focused as they always are. Lots of improvements to the systems. Over 3,500 miles of vegetation management just since the summer. So feeling very, very good about our level of preparation.
Sure.
Can you talk about what you're seeing with your internal damage models? What areas are expected to be hit the hardest, and how many outages you're prepared to handle?
Hey, really good question, Claire. So I think the question was, in terms of the damage model, what are we seeing? I would say the weather models have varied widely every single day. So I would say we're continuing to track that. In terms of what we're scaling for, I mean, we've got 3,000 workers here between our own crews and folks here that work for CenterPoint and locally, as well as the 1,200 additional mutual assistance folks that are in from across the country. So we feel scaled really well to be able to meet the challenge. I would say the one thing that we're going to need to keep in mind is it's going to be precipitation on the ground. It's going to be cold tomorrow night and freeze. So access is going to be key for us. We're going to be out trying to do our work, but getting on some of those roads that maybe more treacherous, we're just going to have to wait and see what that looks like. So we'll have to see how many outages there actually are, Claire.
What are you guys doing differently in comparison to, let's say, the 2021 freeze? Talk a little bit about the vegetation for people at home that are concerned that went through that firsthand. What would you tell them?
Yeah, let me let Darren take that one.
Yeah, thank you for the question. The 2021 event was very different. That was not about impacts to our system directly. That was more of an issue of us having electrons delivered to the Houston area, right? So very different. We did rotate load during that event. This is very different. We're preparing for the things that we can control, which are the impacts to our system. And, just to pair this a little bit with the prior question, an example of our preparation, we've strategically set up these staging sites in the parts of town where we think there could be more damage based on our damage models. Galveston, I was at Galveston this morning at Moody Gardens. We specifically put our crews on the island thinking that they may not be able to traverse the bridge over the causeway, if we needed to be there. So we've got people overnight staying in the hotels. It's mandatory for them to be there to be able to serve our customers. So, just giving a flavor for the difference in preparations that are underway with this event.
What areas are you guys thinking high impact?
Yeah, right now with it being mainly a snow event, we think it's going to be a little bit more widespread. When we were looking at icing, it looked like it's more going to be kind of the northeast part of town where there's a lot more trees. With this though, we think the biggest threat, frankly, is car accidents. Folks hitting our poles when they're out driving can cause some issues, things like that. But I couldn't really point to a area right now that we're more worried about than any other.
Where are the other two staging areas?
There's another one that's fairly central to Houston, and then we've got one down on Galveston Island at Moody Gardens.
Again, keeping in mind our service territory is spread out across 12 counties in the greater Houston area. So again, pre-staging folks all around so we can be able to respond. Again, it's kind of tomorrow night, Wednesday, even into Wednesday night. It's going to be about access to roads. Are the roads navigable? So very much working in concert with the city and county on all these matters. And I would just echo what Darren said. Please stay home. I mean, the worst thing to do, have a car accident, run into a power pole, take out 1,500, 2,000 people when we're already out trying to restore. So please listen to county and city leaders on those sorts of things.
Can I get your name and title again, sir?
Sure, Keith Stevens, Keith, Stevens, Stephens, Chief Communications Officer for CenterPoint.
Darren Carroll, Senior Vice President of Electric Business for CenterPoint Energy, and the name is DARIN CARROLL.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right, and happy to take some one-offs if I know some people got here a little late, so whatever works for folks. Really appreciate you being here. We know it's going to be a tough couple of days, so thanks for the partnership.